Bismillah ar-Rahman rahim. This is another important uh, slides and chapter for discussing the another important area for the course of organizational development. Before going to the whole chapter, I would like to discuss first the important part of the organizational development is related with the action research model. Action research model is very useful method for facilitating organizational change by collaborating and involving the client in the entire process of number one thing is the diagnostic, second thing is the problem identification. In more of the cases, in more of the studies, in more generally, you can say that here, if you seeing it in the slides, number one is problem identification. But when you explain it, so in some of the cases, but let me in a simple thing is, number one thing is the problem identification. Second thing is the most important thing is the consulting with the behavioral scientists, then data gathering and preliminary diagnosis, then the feedback to the client, and this goes to again the giant diagnosis, then giant action planning, and then this moves to the action, and then the last one is the data gathering after action. So these are all the main part of the action research model. So the and then and as well as in some of the if you go through with the books and seeing a lot of understanding about the this model or about this area of organizational development, so you will see it. Experiential learning is also another part or another element which is related with the action research model. I will explain you in a later part of my lecture. The entire process of action, what do you mean by the action research? This is basically the entire process of action research is action oriented with the objective of making the change happen successfully. The process equally involves experimentation with the various frameworks in practical situation and application of various theories in various contexts with require change. In other words, we can say that the process of action research requires three distinctive stages, which are consistent with the Lewin's model, which describe the three stages of change. Here you see that these are the three stages of the Lewin's model: unfreezing, movement, and refreezing. I think I already explained you in my previous slides, but for recalling this, by unfreezing is the kind of the state, is the kind of the situation where organization is discomfort. What do you mean by the discomfort? By the discomfort, we mean that the kind of the situation where organization facing problems. And if you relate unfreezing with the action research model, so here this unfreezing is problem identification. This is here the action from the, if you compare it with the Lewin's model and the action research model, so action research model starts from problem identification, and Lewin's change model starts from unfreezing. Both are the same thing. Both meanings have the same things. Then the when we compare up these three things, unfreezing, movement, and refreezing. Movement is that when you are working on the discomfort, how you improve your market share, how you overcome the problems, how you can train your employees. These are all the things that is come up in the movement. And then the refreezing is that when you going to the stabilize, and then again unfreezing, and then this process goes on and on and on. Then diagnoses the need for change. Number one is unfreezing, introduction of an intervention, moving, and then the third one is evaluation and stabilization of change, is basically related with the refreezing. The most commonly used model of action research, which is used in the contemporary scenario, is Warner Burke's 7-step action research model, which is we already discussing, which is I'm already discussing with you people. And this the another thing is that the what kind of the advantages we can take from the action research model. Before going for the advantages, I would like to explain these one by one. Number one is problem identification. When you're talking about a problem, when you're talking about the OD practitioners, or when you're talking about organizational development practitioners, number one thing is the key thing is that first to identify the problem in the organization. What kind of a problem organization currently facing? Either that is a client, either that is a customer oriented problem, either that is the organizational problems, either that might be the, you can say that the problem related with the structure of the organization, related with the practices of the organization, related with the process of organization. There's so many things that is related with the problem identification. Then second thing is consultation with the behavioral scientist, that you consult with the behavioral scientists. What do you mean by the behavioral scientists? Behavioral scientists, we means that these consultants, basically, these consultants who are practicing organizational development are a professional consultant who provide you facilitation in IT related problems, who provide you consultation in related business related applications, who provide you consultation in the training, who provide consultation in the related with the construction, related with the buildings, and so many things. There are so many multiple consultants available in the market. They can give you a lot of services in the service sector. So these, they all of them are the consultation with the behavioral scientists. They are the third thing is data gathering and preliminary diagnosis. This is one of the key parameter for whenever you are talking about action research model. Data gathering is where we collecting data from the market, we collect data from the external sources. There is a lot of organization who has the already has a mechanism that through which they can gather a lot of data, and data is actually related with the IT industries, data related with the training perspective, data related with the job perspective, data related with that in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, what you can see the customer trends, you can see the technological advancements, the trends of the technological advancements. There's so many things. There are so many things which a consultant do for you. You are a company, you are running a company, or you are running a, let's suppose, institution. So for institution, you need to gather a lot of data, but you don't have resources. You don't have the you don't have a proper office for that data gathering. You don't have a facilitation. So for this, you go for the consultant. That consultants can help you for collecting and giving you or providing you the data. They are the main source to provide you the data. So this is how they works in the different industries. For instance, I can more elaborate this term, as in the previous classes, some of the students requested me to discuss some of the points in a very detailed manner, because we don't have the background of the human resource. So for this, I elaborate more in a detail.